Yeah. The stove brass key rests by my lukewarm tea, unused for years, still waiting patiently. I kick my shoes off, loosen up my tie. The subway noise still rings behind my eyes. The office hum fades out into the dark. My phone battery sitting on 1% mark. I stare at metal worn down by the sun, remembering the apartment where we used to run. Back then my shoulders didn't feel this heavy. We drank cheap beer and talked about the steady dreams we held before the bills came in. Now I just count the days I didn't win. Sitting at this table with the quiet on my skin, wondering where the tire worker ends and I begin. The city lights outside keep shining cold and white, while old days creep back up and softly sit inside. I close my eyes and trace the scratches on the key, remembering the boy who thought he'd set us free. My inbox clear, but my mind is overflowing. The clock ticks loud, no place left worth going. We used to stay up talking through the night, no spreadsheet stress, just cheap apartment light. I traded wild hours for a fixed monthly pay, and let your smile slowly drift away. The key belonged to that old wooden door, the one we locked before we searched for more. Back then my shoulders didn't feel this heavy. We drank cheap beer and talked about the steady dreams we held before the bills came in. Now I just count the days I didn't win. Sitting at this table with the quiet on my skin, wondering where the tire worker ends and I begin. The city lights outside keep shining cold and white, while old days creep back up and softly sit inside. I close my eyes and trace the scratches on the key, remembering the boy who thought he'd set us free. It's 11:45, the room is getting chill. I told myself I'm fine, I'm paying every bill, but holding this small piece of rusted brass shows every single year I let just pass. I miss the loud laughter, I miss the messy floor, I miss the person who used to walk through that door. The key stays sitting on the wooden grain. Tomorrow morning brings the morning train. I turn the lamp off, let the shadows spread, and leave the past right here beside my bed. Yeah, the squeak of wet bicycle brakes echoes down the alley behind the station. I pull my coat tight, stepping out into the damp 8 o'clock air. The city hums its usual low bass line while the pavement gleams. I caught myself staring at a poster for the indie band you used to hate. Remember sitting on the curb sharing one cold can coffee. You talk so fast about leaving town, fixing everything that was broken. My subway car swipes with the monotonous beat, standing on the escalator, losing my sleep. I wonder if your evenings carry this kind of weight, or if you found your peace past the highway gate. Tell me, are you still staying awake until the sky turns gray? I walked past our old corner store right after work today. The streetlights flickered just the way they used to do back then. In this crowded, quiet city, I was missing my best friend. We got so busy building lives, we forgot how to stay. My neck is stiff from 10 hours staring at a glass display. Bought 2 convenience store teas before remembering I'm alone tonight. Someone passed by in a baggy hoodie, walking with your exact loose stride. For a second I almost called your full name into the drafty street. We traded 5-hour phone calls for generic birthday messages once a year. The distance didn't break us, it just washed us out softly year by year. Tell me, are you still staying awake until the sky turns gray? I walked past our old corner store right after work today. The streetlights flickered just the way they used to do back then. In this crowded, quiet city, I was missing my best friend. We got so busy building lives, we forgot how to stay. Maybe tomorrow I will finally send that overdue text. Blame it on the bad traffic or ask what you're doing next. But tonight I'm standing at the edge of the pedestrian crosswalk, listening to the sirens fade while the red countdown light ticks down. Signal chime rings across the vacant street. I take the slow route home with heavy feet. Hope the world treats you gentle wherever you landed. Catch you around when the long road turns. Burly tea drips past the station exit. He pulls his coat close as the blue light fades. The subway doors slide shut behind his heels, and 5 years vanish in a second's grace. He smells the sweet roasted dough from a cart, the exact same scent she bought him in the rain. He unbuttons his collar, heavy from the office, tracing back footsteps down memory lane. His briefcase hangs low beside his tired knees. The city lights flicker like an old marquee. He swore he forgot her name 3 years ago, but a single breath proves how little he knows. He walks through the alley where they used to laugh, split in a single coat, right in half. Now he earns enough to buy 2 of everything, except the quiet warmth that her voice could bring. He slows down a step outside the corner store, wondering why he checks who is at the door. He remembers late exams and $2 noodle soups, her worn out sneakers and her canvas shoes. Back when overtime meant staying up to talk, not staring at a laptop while the hours tick off. His phone vibrates with a late work request. He swipes it away and buries his chest in the collar that smells like cold evening smog, lost in a 5-year-old lingering fog. His briefcase hangs low beside his tired knees. The city lights flicker like an old marquee. He swore he forgot her name 3 years ago, but a single breath proves how little he knows. He walks through the alley where they used to laugh, split in a single coat, right in half. Now he earns enough to buy 2 of everything, except the quiet warmth that her voice could bring. He slows down a step outside the corner store, wondering why he checks who is at the door. The young guy working the register tonight has hair just as messy as it used to be, handing off warm cans of sweet milk tea to a girl waiting under the yellow light. He turns his head quick before his eyes get wet. Some memories paid for, some unpaid debt. The burly scent washes out into the street. He unlocks his dark apartment alone, drops his leather shoes onto the tile floor, and lets the quiet take him back home. The silence fractures when you enter my thoughts. I toss my coat onto the unlit couch. The hallway clock ticks like a heavy pulse, while neon street lights bleed through cheap blinds. Untying shoes after a 12-hour shift. The apartment sits in complete stillness. Then out of nowhere 6 years ago hits my chest. A sudden flash of your laugh in that rainy cafe. My tired shoulders drop against the front door. The room is cold but my head is spinning warm. I bought a single beer at the corner store, and suddenly I am back where we used to belong. When neon signs fade into the midnight mist, I count the missed calls and the things we missed. Another late commute, another lonely street, walking through memories on tired feet. The city keeps breathing while I stay behind, rewinding your voice inside my exhausted mind. Condensed steam rises from a hot plastic cup. I stare at my phone screen, never typing it up. Suit jackets up with cards, a crowded line too. How did every single trip first start reminding me of you? We were broke back then, sharing cheapest of soup, tracing out wild dreams in a tiny studio group. Never were a neat top, paying off my rent, wondering where all those ambitious nights went. The quiet was safe until your memory moved, proving how little my grown heart has improved. Did we trade our young dreams just to earn a salary, or did I leave you somewhere in that old gallery? The shadows on my walls are growing long and gray, washing all my carefully built walls away. The neon signs fade into the midnight mist. I count the missed calls and the things we missed. Another late commute, another lonely street, walking through memories on tired feet. The city keeps breathing while I stay behind. Rewinding your voice inside my exhausted mind. The key drops on the table, the apartment goes still again. Just another night after work in the city rain. I swallow the silence and pull down the shade. Your memory lingers, refusing to fade. Where did the quiet version of us vanish to? My lanyard feels heavier than the laptop in my tote bag. Subway line 2 clatter against the underground rails, and the yellow safety tile is worn down by 10,000 daily commutes. My thumb hovers over your old contact card, remembering how we bought 4-centimeter fish cakes in the rain. Now I check Slack messages while waiting for the turnstile to spin, wondering if my youth was just a budget report I forgot to turn in. The convenience store fluorescent glow cuts through the damp mist. I grab a plastic bag with a single cold can, switching my mind from quarterly projections to your old rooftop room. How do we drift from endless dreams to setting 7 a.m. alarms? Walking up the narrow hill while my dress shoes pinch my heels. The alley smells of wet pavement and roasted sesame oil. Your voice sneaks through the shuffle of an unreleased bedroom demo back when we wrote refrains on paper cuff sleeves. Now I stare at my monthly balance and wonder where the color went, tracing old footsteps on a street that moved on without us. 10:30 p.m. the digital door lock chirps like a caged bird. I draw my coat on the solitary chair in the corner. The bad habit you used to fix before you packed your boxes. Is the moon always this thin above the studio flats? I remember sitting on the curb sharing one pair of wired earphones. You said my melodies would reach the radio, but today I just formatted 30 slides for a middle manager who forgot my name. Why did we stop fighting for it? Was it fatigue or just growing up? My reflection in the dark microwave glass looks like a stranger in a suit. Walking up the narrow hill while my dress shoes pinch my heels. The alley smells of wet pavement and roasted sesame oil. Your voice sneaks through the shuffle of an unreleased bedroom demo back when we wrote refrains on paper cuff sleeves. Now I stare at my monthly balance and wonder where the color went, tracing old footsteps on a street that moved on without us. Thought about sending a text, but the number shifted long ago. Thought about riding the night bus past our old campus stop. The low bass frequency vibrates through my chest, a 90 BPM drum loop keeping time with my exhausted pulse. No resolution comes down this quiet hallway tonight, just the low hum of the refrigerator in the dark. The phone screen turns black on the desk, another workday wrapped up and tucked away into the dark. Why do I still look for your shadow at the station exit? I untie my tie, lay down and listen to the city breathe. The office chair sinks heavy beneath my evening weight as 9 hours of polite head nods finally release their hold. I pull my tie loose, watching streetlight cast shadows on the floor. In the quiet of my apartment, cold tea sits on the desk. I found an old notebooks from 7 years ago behind the desk, full of frantic scribbles and promises you swore you'd keep. You were 19, skipping meals to pay for studio time, sitting on a rusted folding stool, shivering in the deep basement. If I could send a message back through that cracked screen, I would tell you to stop panicking about the dark. The rent gets My back hurts now when I pull up to this wooden desk. I trade my creative hours for a steady monthly bank alert. You used to stay up till 4 a.m. writing lyrics on receipts, believing every line could rewrite the whole world. I bought the monitor you wanted, the apartment is clean, but staring at the black display when the music stops. I wonder if you would be proud of who I became, or if you would call me a stranger in a quiet suit. You were terrified of becoming ordinary, so scared of getting buried in an ordinary line. It is not a defeat, kid, it is just a little heavy like this chair I fall into when the street lamps line the street. You did not throw your youth away, you bought my freedom, and every quiet breath I take tonight was earned by me. You made it through that winter, you thought those desperate nights would never find done. I sit here in this heavy swivel chair with steady air gun, living in the future that kept you awake until dawn. Stop beating yourself up for every wrong turn. I am holding the ground, you fought so hard to win. Turn off the basement light now, you can drop your shoulders and rest. The chair is heavy but I am standing firm. Sleep well, 19, we made it out. Yeah, amber street lamps bleed into the indigo dust tonight. Finished my shift and I'm back, still clipped to my belt. I sit on the blue plastic bench by the late night stand. A man in a warm coat asks if this seat is taken. I'm not pulling my legs and staring at my worn shoes. He sighs out heavy air, holding a steaming mug of tea. Long day, he asks quietly, watching the car speed past. I tell him I forgot what year my youth even faded. He laughs softly, passing me a warm canned coffee. Says 25 feels like a century away for him too. The red tail lights blur into long trailing threads. I remember 21 when we believed the night belonged to us. Talking to a stranger under the sodium orange light, unpacking all the dreams I hid inside my suit jacket. He listens without judgment, just sipping this hot drink for 10 brief minutes. I am not a tired employee, I am just a kid again, looking back across the years. He tells me he used to play guitar in a basement band. I tell him I used to write lyrics on my math homework. Now we punch clocks, sign forms, check off the daily tasks. He says, you still got that look in your eyes though. I laugh it off, but my throat gets a little tight. The yellow bus approaches, spilling to a sudden stop. He stands up slowly, adjusting his worn shoulder bag. Don't lose that song inside your head, he says softly. We never traded names, never asked for phone numbers. Just two tired souls meeting on a cool October evening. The traffic light turns green, washing us in lime emerald. He boards the bus and I stay behind on the curb, talking to a stranger under the sodium orange light, unpacking all the dreams I hid inside my suit jacket. He listens without judgment, just sipping this hot drink for 10 brief minutes. I am not a tired employee, I am just a kid again, looking back across the years. The amber glow remains painting the sidewalk gold. I put my headphones on, walking the rest of the way. My heart feels a little lighter in the night air. Thank you, stranger on the bench. My manager said yesterday I look too quiet lately. I held my plastic badge and nodded like I understood. Now riding line to home, I stare down at my shoelaces. The left one has a fraying tip, the right one holds a knot. A yellow transit card with chip paint on the corner. A convenience store receipt stuck to my pocket lining. A faint smudge on my thumbnail from a dying rollerball pen. Small details stack up quietly while the carriage shifts. A stranger's headphone bleeds a melody from 7 years ago. A cracked tempered glass protector reflects my tired chin. I count the minor flaws that accumulated on the way, and suddenly I am back in the 21-year-old spring. I collect these tiny pieces on the long ride back tonight. A loose button hanging by a single black thread. A cold can of green tea sweating on the plastic plastic tray. Everything I used to be is buried in this quiet list. Walking on past the dark bakery, stepping over wet pavement. I remember how we laughed back when we had no plans at all. Yeah, ay, inside my studio flat, I kick off my work shoes. The apartment key ring has a faded rubber avocado charm. 3 circular watermarks stain the wooden coffee table, and a red paper bill lies flat beside my phone charger. My bookshelf holds a textbook with a bookmark on page 40. I never finished reading it but kept it through 2 moves. A dried out highlighter pen sits uncapped in the mug. Every small object sits here holding memories of us. I sit on the edge of the narrow mattress. The digital clock flickers 10:42 in red digits. I didn't notice when I stopped dreaming about the big world. I just kept gathering scratches on my everyday items. What my teammates said yesterday keeps echoing in my head. You look distant, you look quiet, where did you go? I unlaced my sneakers, set the keys on the side table. Just another Tuesday night in my 29-year-old skin. Coarse brushes against my wrist as I loosen the knot at my neck. The stiff polyester suit lining feels colder than the winter air outside. I lean my head against the foggy window of the late night local bus, and my thumb traces a small snag thread near the hem of my sleeve. Suddenly the rough weave melts into the plush softness of a red blanket. A cramped semi-basement room where we used to hide away from the rain. The LED screen blinks the next stop, but my mind is 6 years back. We didn't care about performance reviews or corporate dress codes then. Just cheap instant ramen, worn out hoodies, and endless time to burn. I am standing on that windy rooftop again, wrapped in your oversized denim jacket that smelled like sweet tobacco. We pledged to never let the city turn us into hollow statues. Now I fold my slacks and check my calendar for tomorrow, while the memory of soft washed cotton keeps me warm for one stop more. I remember the frayed fringe of the scarf you knitted by hand. It was uneven and scratchy, but I wore it every single morning to class. Tonight my fingers touched this dry clean blazer, tighter across the shoulders, and I wonder when my skin forgot how to feel something genuine. The fluorescent subway lights flicker into old neon signs from our alleyway, where we drank bitter beer and laughed until our cheeks pressed against warm fleece. The air brakes hiss as the driver hits the final stop on the route. The sudden jolt breaks the spell, pulling me out of 26. I stepped down onto the wet pavement, pulling my collar close, realizing I lost that jacket years ago, but the tactile phantom remains. I am standing on that windy rooftop again, wrapped in your oversized denim jacket that smelled like sweet tobacco. We pledged to never let the city turn us into hollow statues. Now I fold my slacks and check my calendar for tomorrow, while the memory of soft washed cotton keeps me warm for one stop more. Rough wool on my knuckles, stiff fabric of 30. I walk home under blue street lamps, holding on to the softest threads of who we were. The red 1145 flickers against dark wallpaper. I kick off my shoes, feeling the floorboards cool. Another shift finished, another full day buried in spreadsheets. I recall a summer night 5 years ago when we didn't care about tomorrow's schedule. We drank cheap juice on a park bench, convinced we had endless time. Now I check my calendar for tomorrow's 8 o'clock briefing. My neck aches from the monitor light. I lean against the sofa frame and let my mind travel ahead. 10 years from tonight, will I look back at 26 and smile? Will I sit by a wide window pouring tea, resting for a while? Maybe I will hold a quiet morning in 36 with no urgent calls to take. Looking back at this tired studio and every compromise I had to make. Yeah. Group chat messages drift past my thumb, unread since 7 p.m. We used to talk until dawn, but adult routines rearranged all of them. Everyone logs off early now to survive another morning train. I wonder if my older self will see this exhaustion as necessary rain. Will I remember the exact smell of late night convenience store ice cakes? Or will time soften every single sacrifice this job takes? My shoulders drop in the silent room. I trace a future shape inside the late night. 10 years from tonight, will I look back Watching my face, older, softer eyes, fewer heavy doubts in my chest. I picture a life where I don't constantly prove that I'm doing my best. I will look back at this exhausted person sitting on the floor and thank him for staying quiet through every locked door. The clock shifts to 11:46 without a sound. Future me is standing somewhere on solid ground. I turn off the lamp and let the night take hold. A scratch red guitar pick sits beside my lukewarm convenience store bento box. My shirt collar is stiff, my neck hurts from staring at spreadsheets all day. I flip the thin piece of plastic with my thumb, watching it spin on the laminate. It used to taste like cheap beer and damn basements where our band practiced till 3 a.m. Back when money was just a joke, we laughed off over 30-cent instant noodles. Now my bank account grows, but my fingers forgot how to form an F chord. The fluorescent ceiling light buzzes softly in my empty studio apartment. I loosen my navy tie and stare at my own tired eyes in the reflection of the window pane. Where did that boy go who swore he would never buy a suit? He is sitting right here counting receipts and running out of breath. Play another slow chord in my head before the night fades out. I traded the electric noise for quiet deadlines and silent doubt. If I called you up right now, would you even recognize my tone? Or would you ask me why I sound so corporate, sitting here all alone? Just a scratched red pick and a clock ticking loud. I miss the kid who was too stubborn to blend into the crowd. I open the top drawer where I keep my spare batteries and old tax papers. Underneath the stack of bills rests the sat list we wrote on a greasy napkin. Your handwriting was terrible, all crooked Sharpie and misspelled song titles. We thought we were gonna change the whole city with 2 chords and a broken amp. Now my phone only rings when the team lead needs a late revision on slide deck 4. I drop the pick back down, hearing that tiny plastic click against the wood. Play another slow chord in my head before the night fades out. I traded the electric noise for quiet deadlines and silent doubt. If I called you up right now, would you even recognize my tone? Or would you ask me why I sound so corporate, sitting here all alone? Just a scratched red pick and a clock ticking loud. I miss the kid who was too stubborn to blend into the crowd. Maybe everybody trades their loud dreams for a quiet rent payment. Maybe growing up just means learning how to sit still in traffic. But for 10 minutes tonight while my microwave dings, I am 21 again, strumming until the high E string snaps. The pick rests quiet by my cold green tea. Good night to the ghost of who I used to be. Tomorrow morning, shirt iron, should shine sharp. I will lock the door and leave the noise in the dark. The sharp rattle of metal shutters echoing down the avenue makes me pull my padded jacket tight and think of you. We used to kick the empty beer cans down the zigzag block, bragging about the mixtapes we would drop before the clock ran out on our 20s. Now I work in client sales, fixing spreadsheet formulas and reading endless mails. Do you still keep that beat pad hidden underneath your bed? Or did you trade the baseline for a mortgage plan instead? My tie is loose, my neck is stiff from 10 long hours of screens. I passed the greasy diner where we built our wildest dreams. I almost dialed your number just to hear you crack a joke before the neon convenience sign dissolved in diesel smoke. Where did you go with all that loud conviction in your chest? We promised we would conquer every stage and leave the rest. Now I walk home with heavy shoes, wishing you were here to turn this quiet neighborhood back to our golden year. Yeah, you always said that 24 was when we would hit our stride. I saw a kid with headphones on the local bus tonight, nodding to a kick drum with your old impatient grin. It made me wonder when the adult numbness settled in. Your mom said you moved out to Suwon for a steady paycheck. Left a cracked electric guitar resting on a desk. I wonder if you look up at the midnight overhead and feel the same strange ache for every word we laughed and said. Where did you go with all that loud conviction in your chest? We promised we would conquer every stage and leave the rest. Now I walk home with heavy shoes, wishing you were here to turn this quiet neighborhood back to our golden days. The alley lights are flickering, the air is biting cold. I am tired of doing exactly what I am told. I know we cannot go back to that humid basement room, but hearing street noise brings your laughter back into the gloom. The shutters lock up tight now. The street goes cold and gray. I hope you found your peace, my friend. I'm heading home today. Sweet toasted cinnamon sugar hangs in the damp air as he steps off the long escalator at exit 4. The winter breeze catches the tail of his dark coat and brings back the scent of an older, louder shore. He spent 9 hours staring at spreadsheets in a glass tower. Now his shoulders curve slightly under the weight of the hour. He remembers 21 standing right on this pavement, sharing cheap canned coffee, making noise with no pavement, no power. He checks his phone screen, just a low battery alert. No missed calls from the friends who used to stay up till dawn. The city keeps moving, a steady rhythmic hurt, while the boy he used to be feels completely gone. He carries 23 in the pocket of his slacks, back when the world felt huge and the future had no tracks. Now he signs off at 8, buys a lunchbox on sale, watching his reflection in the subway, glass pale. He walks through the ghosts of his own younger days, a quiet salaryman caught in a neon haze. The smell of hot fish cakes drifts out from the street cart. He pauses 3 seconds, hands buried in his pockets. That was her favorite winter snack after late night study, before her name faded out from his locked phone sockets. She moved down south, he stayed stuck in the capital, trading wild nighttime lyrics for something predictable. He remembers how they swore they would never get old, standing in this exact alleyway, shivering in the cold. The leather on his shoes is stiff and brand new. His notebook lies dusty at the bottom of his bed. He used to write verses about chasing something true. Now he memorizes quarterly targets instead. He pulls up his scarf, exhaling a quiet cloud, wondering if that younger kid would be proud. The vendor turns off the yellow cart light. He turns the corner into the alleyway night. One key in his hand, one shadow on the wall. He steps into his studio apartment, letting silence fall. An unbidden memory cuts straight through the motionless dark of this hallway. Untie my leather shoes in silence, letting the heavy laptop bag slide down against the wallpaper. The apartment sits completely still, not a single hum from the refrigerator yet. Then out of nowhere, high school summer afternoon drops in. Your cracked phone screen, the instant noodle steaming on the bench, and the way we laughed without checking the clock once. The city outside my window keeps running its late night routes. Red taillights whirring past the intersection in slow motion. I stand right in the middle of this dim entryway, a 28-year-old salaryman frozen by a ghost of who I was. In this dark kitchen, the quiet hum so loud, and suddenly I'm 19 again, standing in the crowd. We had no money in our pockets, just cheap coffee and dreams. Now I trade my whole youth for these spreadsheet screens. The silence interrupted, the past comes rushing through. Just another tired Tuesday night's been thinking about you. I walked to the sink and turned the tap on low, watching the water ripple under the moonlight. The reflection in the mirror was a blue lanyard, eyes heavy with PowerPoint presentations and polite nods. How did I get here from those rooftop nights? We used to kick empty cans down the alley, dreaming out loud. Now my phone only vibrates for tomorrow's early Zoom call, and I leave the shoes unstacked near the front door wall. In this dark kitchen, the quiet hum so loud, and suddenly I'm 19 again, standing in the crowd. We had no money in our pockets, just cheap coffee and dreams. Now I trade my whole youth for these spreadsheet screens. The silence interrupted, the past comes rushing through. Just another tired Tuesday night spent thinking about a single thought can shatter a 12-hour shift. I didn't mean to summon you, I just forgot to turn the light on. The distance between who I am and who we were is just a few paces across this final floor, blurred into a blur. The digital clock on the stove flicks to 1:14 a.m. The memory fades back into the dark wallpaper. I kick off my socks, sigh into the quiet, and close my eyes in the sleeping city. What happens to the dreams we left behind in 2012? I dragged my plastic heels up 6 flights of stairs by myself. Fluorescent light flickering on the 3rd floor wall. I forgot to buy laundry soap, forgot to answer my father's call. The fluorescent green digital clock says 9:42. My coat smells like Subway grease and cheap lemon shampoo. Funny how a stray smell makes me think of college dorms when we shared a single umbrella through summer storms. Laughing till our shoes soak through near the Hunt River shore. Now I just stare at the scuffs on my front door. My mind wanders off like an untied shoelace, drifting down, floating past the neon alleyways of this tired town. I didn't mean to think of you tonight, it just spilled out when I turned off the living room light. Stream of thoughts running down my warm apartment wall, catching pieces of a past I didn't mean to recall. Clock ticking slow while the convenience store hums, waiting for the feeling when the weekend finally comes. We used to talk about changing the whole damn world. Now I just count the dirty dishes till my thoughts get swirled. Tired garbage bag sitting right beside the entrance mat. I wonder if the stray tabby cat is still living where we sat. My boss said my report lacked conviction today. I nodded 3 times and murmured understood right away. Then I walked past the arcade where we played Tekken into 3. Then replaced it with the self-checkout studio Sally. Everything changes without asking for my consent. I pay $85,001 for my monthly electric rent. Did you ever get that art gallery job in Maple Blue? Or are you also microwaving frozen dumplings at 2? My mind wanders off like an untied shoelace, drifting down, floating past the neon alleyways of this tired town. I didn't mean to think of you tonight, it just spilled out when I turned off the living room light. Stream of thoughts running down my warm apartment wall, catching pieces of a past I didn't mean to recall. Clock ticking slow while the convenience store hums, waiting for the feeling when the weekend finally comes. We used to talk about changing the whole damn world. Now I just count the dirty dishes till my thoughts get swirled. Locking my phone out of habit, scrolling through dead group chats. Someone posted a picture of their toddler wearing funny hats. 10 years passed while I was waiting for the light to turn green. I was young, I was wild, now I'm part of the machine. But in this dark hallway, sitting on the cool laminate tile, I remember your cracked laughter and I sit here and smile. Where did 22 go? Where does the water flow? Steeping tea bag in the chip blue glass, watching the nighttime pass. Just another late commute ending in the dark, leaving my footprints somewhere in the park. Yeah, this plastic office chair bears every ounce of my fatigue tonight. The fluorescent lights flick off, leaving only the blue glow on my monitor. I stretch my sore back, clock out, but my mind stalls in the silent room. I pull out a scrap paper, thinking of a kid who used to dream without a budget. Dear little me, staring at the ceiling in that cramped attic studio. You were so worried about turning 25 and losing your spark. Now my neck hurts from staring at spreadsheets all day long. I traded your beat up canvas shoes for polished black leather weather, you would probably laugh at this tie and clean press shirt. But let me tell you what I learned while climbing up this hill. Do not beat yourself up for the songs that did not sell back then. You do not need to fight every battle on the late night bus. I am holding down the fort, paying rent, surviving the quiet storm. You made me who I am, so stop apologizing to the mirror, my friend. I lean back till the spring grounds under the heaviness on my spine. The chair reclines, taking in the full weight of a long week struggle. Remember how you cried over that rejection email at 2 in the morning? Turns out it did not ruin us, it just gave us thicker skin for the corporate hallway. You thought success meant stadiums, but it is just paying off the monthly tab and having enough left over to buy iced coffee on rainy Thursdays. If I could mail a letter back across the decade divide, I would tell you to sleep earlier and drop the bit of pride. The world is not as cold as your notebooks made it seem. Even in a cubicle, I still guard a piece of your dream. The chair creaks softly as I finally stand up to head home. Rest easy tonight, kid. We made it further than you thought. Just rest easy tonight. A coworker said yesterday I changed my walk. No longer rushing for the flickering green crosswalk. I step off the night bus and check my left pocket. Find a crumpled convenience store ticket, a bent plastic straw from my iced Americano, 2 coins from a trip to Japan 5 years ago. The heel of my shoe makes a hollow wooden sound on the cracked pavement where the street vendors used to be bound. My thumb rubs a small tear in my nylon sleeve, counting small things that I used to believe. The dim fluorescent lamp above the corner store flickers twice. I buy a single beer and a small cup of microwave ice. My reflection in the glass door looks 30 years old, carrying a black umbrella. Though the air isn't cold, I notice the silence between every breath I take, wondering how many quiet rules I had to break. It is a list of small things after the clock strikes 12. All the dusty old memories sitting on the top shelf. A loose thread on my collar and a muted group chat. A key ring without a key resting on the doormat. I walk into my dark room and unlace my shoes, thinking of the simple things I managed to lose. A dry blue ink stain on my thumb from a cheap ballpoint pen. 3 unread emails from people I won't see again. The refrigerator hums and a key that feels flat. A half-empty water bottle where my notebook's at. I open the drawer and find a worn subway pass and an old photo frame with a crack in the glass. We were sitting on plastic chairs drinking cheap beer, laughing at futures that felt so clear. Now my shoulders feel heavy beneath this black coat, reading a tiny line on a sticky note. I line up these observations on the kitchen table, trying to remember when I became so settled and stable. The smell of rain coming off the window screen takes me back to 24 and everything in between. None of these little details matter to my desk tomorrow, but tonight they hold every quiet piece of borrowed sorrow. The dust rests still on the window ledge. Outside a passing taxi clips the curved edge. I sit on the edge of the unmade bed, thinking about what my coworker said. Another night closes on this small apartment floor, leaving my old self parked right outside the door. Scratchy polyester liner rubs my neck as I strip away the daily uniform. The dry clean suit lands quietly on the plastic chair by my small door. I reach deep into the dark closet corners, hunting for something soft, and pull out that faded gray hoodie with the stretched out cuffs. Rough cotton against my fingertips instantly pulls me 10 years back to the drafty library basement where we used to sit and study late. You used to pull these oversized sleeves over your coat ends, laughing about the broken heater while sharing a paper cup of cold coffee. The smell of old laundry soap still lingers in the seams. A faint ghost of midnight walks through the university park, before deadlines replaced midnight dreams, before my calendar filled up with meetings I hated. In this oversized hoodie, I am 22 again, standing under flickering street lamps without a single plan. We had no money, no security, just hours to throw away, talking about the giant world we promised to change someday. Now I sit in silence on the edge of my narrow bed, replaying every laugh we shared inside my heavy head. I slapped my thumb over the frayed hem where the threads came loose. That was the night we walked 4 miles because we missed the last bus home. Yeah, you wore my jacket over your shoulders, looking ridiculously tiny, vowing that 30 would feel so far away. And right now here I am, past 30, staring at a fluorescent ceiling, earning enough to pay the rent but bankrupt in every feeling. The texture of this cotton remembers who I really used to be before the quiet corporate grind slowly rewrote me. The city outside my window never really shuts its eyes. Taxis speed through asphalt reflections under foggy midnight skies. For just 10 minutes in the dark, I do not answer to my boss. I let the younger version of myself count everything I lost. I hold the fabric to my face and let the memory unfold. Fading, 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 fading. Fading, 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 faded gray cotton holding warmth from a distant ear. The apartment is cold, but the past feels close right here. I leave the hoodie on as I turn off the desk light. Just a 22-year-old dreamer sleeping through tonight. 12:34, blink slowly on the car display. I turn the ignition off and let the engine fade away. The parking lot beneath my apartment block is still. I sit inside the heated seat and let the quiet fill. I close my eyes and suddenly I jump 10 years ahead. I picture myself older with gray silver in my hair, sitting in the different car, breathing different air, wondering if that older me will look back at tonight, remembering how hard I try to make things turn out right. Will that future version of me smile at these exhausted days? Will he miss the heavy suit and all these tangled ways? We burn the midnight oil just to build a quiet home, imagining a golden time when we won't feel alone. When I am 55, pulling up at night, will I remember how I chased every city light? Will I recall the friends who dropped out one by one, and how we used to talk before the work was done? If I meet my future self in some quiet dream, I hope he tells me everything was better than it seemed. I opened up my laptop on the passenger seat side, checking late emails while the shadows softly glided. In 2038, maybe I won't care at all about the deadlines or the missed calls in the hall. Maybe I'll be sitting on a porch out near the sea, drinking warm green tea, feeling completely free. I imagine my future kid asking what I used to do when I was 28 and running out of fuel. I'll tell them about the late trains, the cold convenience store, and how every tough night opened up another door. Time is just a river that flows straight into the dark. Right now I'm just a tire spark inside a crowded park. But 55 feels peace, till 55 feels slow, where all the things I worry over finally let go. The dashboard clock clicks to 12:35, just dreaming of that future keeps my heart alive. I step out in the night air, heavy keys in hand. Someday I'll look back and understand. Yeah, a delivery scooter revs its engine down the lane, right outside the corner store where we once hid from rain. I loosen up my silk tie, holding 2 hot cans of tea, wondering if you ever catch yourself thinking of me. We used to talk about the world like it was ours to break, counting up the foolish bets we swore we would make. Now my phone only buzzes with manager demands, and I wonder when we put our big dreams in someone else's hands. Do you still stay up late writing rhymes nobody hears, or did 30-something routine slowly claim your quiet years? I am standing on our brick stoop, staring at my feet, wishing I could call you up without sounding discreet. You always said we would never let the city dull our edge, standing high above the subway on that sharing cheap street food where no suit can disturb. Remember how you swore you would never wear a badge? How we laughed at corporate workers standing on the platform edge. I saw a shadow on the streetlights that looked just like your stride. For a second I almost called your name and stepped aside. Your old cracked phone number is still saved inside my list, sitting right below the clients that I forced myself to assist. Are you drinking somewhere solo, staring at a blank screen? Do you miss the wild kids that we used to be at 19? Do you still stay up late, writing rhymes nobody hears? Or did 30-something routine slowly claim your quiet years? I am standing on a brick stoop, staring at my feet, wishing I could call you up without sounding discreet. You always said we would never let the city dull our edge, standing high above the subway on that rusty overpass ledge. Now walk home after midnight, heavy in my chest, wondering if you ever got to figure out the rest. I wish you were sitting right here beside me on this curb, sharing cheap street food where no suit can disturb. The street lamp flickers twice and settles into yellow glow. There are 1,000 stupid things I should have said years ago. You moved across the river, I got buried in my rent. Funny how the best days of our youth were just spent. I pressed dial on your contact, then cancel before it rings, afraid to find out if the present broke your wings. The scooter engine fades away into the alley air. I'll leave one warm drink resting on the concrete stair. Maybe you'll walk past tomorrow on your commute to work. Maybe you still remember who we were behind this dark store. Damn charcoal smoke fills a narrow alley, and engine loosens up his tight black tie. The smell of cheap grilled pork and roasted garlic pulls 7 years back into his tired eye. Yeah. He remembers when 22 men staying out, sharing one penny meat in half filled glasses, talking about big dreams they never doubted. Before the office life rewrote their chances, he taps his transit card against the gate, his briefcase heavy with a task he didn't choose. The city carries on, but inside his head tonight, he walks through memories he didn't want to lose. He steps off at the station near his apartment, carrying echoes of a boy who used to laugh aloud. The late night breeze smells like wet asphalt, and he wonders where those old friends are now. Just a salary man walking home at midnight, retracing footprints from a sweeter time. He pauses by the convenience store window light, watching his own reflection in the tinted glass. A younger face once promised him the world before deadlines and performance reviews took class. He buys a single can of iced tea, the same flavor they drank on summer nights, back when a missed train was an adventure and not a ruined schedule under street lights. He taps his phone screen just to check the time. No unread messages from anyone back then. The city carries on, but inside his head tonight, he wishes he could be 19 again. He steps off at the station near his apartment, carrying echoes of a boy who used to laugh aloud. The late night breeze smells like wet asphalt, and he wonders where those old friends are now. Just a salary man walking home at midnight, retracing footprints from a sweeter time. The alleyways haven't changed their stubborn shape, even if his posture bent under the load. He takes a slow breath, letting the cold sense settle, finding comfort on this quiet stretch of road. He unlocks his dark front door at 12:14, slips off his polished shoes take over. A stray thought snaps the quiet room as I kick off my heavy leather dress shoes. The hallway sensor light flickers once and dies, leaving me standing with my suit jacket tied. My apartment sits in total late night calm until your laughter echoes like a sudden bomb. I drop my keys on the glass entry shelf, and suddenly I'm talking to my younger self. The hum of the fridge is the only background track, while 5 years ago comes rushing right back. Yeah, the apartment dark, the neon outside blue. I pour cold water staring at a view. We used to walk these alleys till our shoes were thin, before the neckties and deadlines settled in. Now I sit on the linoleum floor, watching moonlight creep across the kitchen door. The late train hums past the distant overpass, ice cubes clinking in a tall plastic glass. I was supposed to be a star back then. Now I'm just clocking out at 10 to 10. A sudden thought breaks through the heavy air, and for a second you are sitting right there. I unbutton my collar, loosen up the tightness, looking at the ceiling fan spinning in the brightness. My laptop bag slumps down against the couch, full of reports I cannot care about. Back in 2018 we at 01, drinking cheap cans on the playground till the sun. Now my bank account is safe, my salary is paid, so why do I miss the stupid mistakes we made? The quiet in this kitchen feels too large to hold a single memory, turning hot to cold and dark. The neon outside blue, I pour cold water staring at a view. We used to walk these alleys till our shoes were thin, before the neckties and deadlines settled in. Now I sit on the linoleum floor, watching moonlight creep across the kitchen door. The late train hums past the distant overpass, ice cubes clinking in a tall plastic glass. I was supposed to be a star back then. Now I'm just clocking out at 10 to 10. A sudden thought breaks through the heavy air, and for a second you are sitting right there. The digital clock glows 4 minutes past 11. I close my eyes and try to count to 7. The smell of wet concrete from the open window pane takes me back to running through the summer rain. We had no blueprint, no corporate ladder to climb, just endless midnight spilling over time. The sensor light stays dark, the fridge continues to hum. My phone screen lights up with a calendar alert for tomorrow. I brush the dust off my trousers. The memory fades back into the silence. Good night to who we used to be. Where do unanswered calls end up when nobody picks up the line? I ask the glass door at exit 3 as I step out into the rain. My transit car chirps its usual low double tone, and for 3 seconds I forget which year I am standing in. The pale yellow street light catches a thin trail of my breath, and my right hand automatically reaches for a jacket pocket that used to hold cheap cigarettes. I quit 5 years ago, so why did my fingers just twitch? My manager said my quarterly deck was sufficient today. Sufficient, that word tastes like lukewarm tap water. Back when we shared a basement studio, we used to talk about changing the whole city over 3,001 canned coffees. My dress shoes make a heavy sloshing beat on the asphalt, a rhythm pattern I didn't ask for, dragging me toward my block. Everything feels continuous tonight, like a long run-on sentence without commas, and you are just a dependent clause I never learned how to punctuate. I am walking through the late commute with my coat unzipped, letting the raw air cut straight through the fluorescent haze of 9 to 6. My thoughts spill over the edges like a paper cup filled past the rim. I distinctly remember how we laughed until our stomachs cramped at midnight, and now I cannot even recall the exact pitch of your voice. Just metallic click of my own apartment key turning in the lock. The blue neon of the corner store flickers twice, then holds steady. I grab a bottle of barley tea, but my hand lingers on the ice cold handle. Remember when we bought those cheap fireworks and got fined by the park ranger? We didn't even have 20,000. One between us had to call your cousin. No, now 20,001 is just what I spend on a lazy lunch of Tuesday. I buy a triangular gimbap. I do not even really want to eat. The cashier does not look up from her screen. I do not look at her face. A seamless exchange of two exhausted people surviving the hour. I passed the gated basketball court behind building 1 and 4. Someone left an old ball in the mud, deflated and dark with the rainwater. That was us, wasn't it? Full of pressure, until the season quietly changed. My dress shoes make a heavy sloshing beat on the asphalt, a rhythm pattern I didn't ask for, dragging me toward my block. Everything feels continuous tonight, like a long-running sentence without commas. And you are just a dependent clause I never learned how to punctuate. I am walking through the late commute with my coat unzipped, letting the raw air cut straight through the fluorescent haze of 9 to 6. My thoughts spill over the edges like a paper cup filled past the rim. I distinctly remember how we laughed until our stomachs cramped at midnight. And now I cannot even recall the exact pitch of your voice, just a quiet metallic click of my own apartment key turning in the lock. Did I become the tired adult we swore we would laugh at? Or just a version that figured out how to pay rent on time? My phone vibrates in my palm, a system notification for a gym discount. I swipe it away without reading the second line. If I took a sudden left at the dry cleaners instead of going straight, would that narrow alleyway still smell like damp red brick and old fried oil? Would you be standing under the plastic awning holding an umbrella you took from a cafe? No, you are probably fast asleep 3 subway transfers away from here, living a quiet life that has zero overlap with my late night overtime hours. Where do unanswered questions go when you simply stop asking them? They just sit quietly on the floor of the late night bus. Step over them carefully on your way out. Key card pressed flat against the digital pad. One clean chime, I am home. Bruised magenta glows from the awning overhead, staining the damp pavement in a harsh electric shade. I pull back a plastic chair outside the late night store, loosening my tie because my neck can't take much more. A man sitting 2 feet away sets down a steaming can, looks at my crumpled lanyard like he understands. Hard day at the desk, he asks with a raspy quiet grin. I nod and tell him I don't know where to begin. He slides an unopened can across the scratch white table, says youth is just a wait until you throw away the label. I look down at my shoes and see my 23-year-old self standing in the garage, pulling dusty records off the shelf. How did I trade my loud guitar for endless slide decks, waiting for a weekend that just washes out the spec? We talk about people we used to be at midnight, 2 strangers sitting silent under violent neon light. He says the memories don't fade, they just get heavier to pack. I smile and sip the coffee, wishing I could turn back. Clocking out at 9, but my mind is 2010, sitting with a stranger, feeling like a kid again. Yeah. He tells me he used to draw comic books on his bus ride home, before he took a loan and got an office of his own. I laugh and tell him how I wrote songs on my cracked phone screen, chasing some bright future that was pure and evergreen. We both exhale a cloud into the chill October air, different generations but the same exhausted stare. You still think about those days, he asks without a sound, every single night when the city settles down. He slides an unopened can across a scratch white table, says youth is just a wait until you throw away the label. I look down at my shoes and see my 23-year-old self standing in the garage, pulling dusty records off the shelf. How did I trade my loud guitar for endless slide decks, waiting for a weekend that just washes out the spec? We talk about the people we used to be at midnight, 2 strangers sitting silent under violent neon light. He says the memories don't fade, they just get heavier to pack. I smile and sip the coffee, wishing I could turn again. The city clock strikes midnight on the digital display. We share a brief nod for the things we couldn't say. It takes a total stranger to unlock where I had hid. A reminder of the fire that I buried as a kid. I don't even know his name, he doesn't know my past, but under neon rays the old memories last. He stands up and taps his coat, says take care kid. I watch him walk away into the dark where he hid. Bruised magenta glows from the store. Can it be high? I walk the rest of the way home under the midnight sky. Yeah, yesterday a junior asked if I used to play guitar back then. I just laughed it off and pushed my glasses up my nose again. Stepping off the green bus at the bottom of the hill tonight. Notice how my left shoelace is fraying in the yellow light. There is a faded blue stain on my worn out canvas wallet strap, and a half-peeled price tag stuck inside my winter coat flap. Tiny details pile up quietly inside this heavy coat. I pull my collar higher while the cold air catches in my throat. Yeah, the convenience store sign flickers twice then settles bright. My reflection in the glass looks slightly tired from the night. Every little detail seems to point back to that year when we walked these pavement stones without a single fear. A pocket full of silver coins and receipts I do not need, tracing small observations while the quiet hours bleed. I remember how we used to count the street lamps one by one before the days turned heavy and the simple joy was gone. Just a list of little things I catch before I turn the key, whispering the shadows of who we used to be. The elevator button showed the silver coating wearing thin. I press the digit 7 as the midnight silence settles in. My thumb still bears a ghost mark from a cheap $5 bend. A dry umbrella drips onto the linoleum where I stand. The screen on my smartphone has a tiny chip along the side, right where your old contact name used to quietly reside. I unpack 3 cold dumplings from a crumpled paper sack. Every single mundane object keeps on pulling me back. A blue bus card with scratch from a campus gate back home. A key ring missing 3 keys, sitting silent on the chrome. Why do these tiny broken pieces hold so much of us? Why do I stand here listing things instead of boarding another pocket full of silver coins and receipts I do not need, tracing small observations while the quiet hours bleed. I remember how we used to count the street lamps one by one before the days turned heavy and the simple joy was gone. Just a list of little things I catch before I turn the key, whispering the shadows of who we used to be. One scratch buzz card in my coat pocket, one frayed lace trailing on the sidewalk, a lukewarm can of barely tea on the counter yesterday. Someone asked who I used to be. I guess I am still finding out tonight. Rough rib cotton clings against my collarbone as I unbutton my dress shirt on the porch. The stiff weave feels nothing like the worn out fleece we shared 5 years ago on the rooftop. I pull the tie free, letting the tight fabric slide down my numb fingers. A sudden scent of laundry soap and cold autumn rain hits me out of nowhere. Suddenly I am 22 again, sitting on the concrete edge, watching you wrap that oversized scarf twice around your neck. The elevator doors close on another routine day. I count the floors, but my mind is rewinding at full speed. How did I trade all those wild hours for a neat collared shirt? The friction of this suit jacket reminds me of who I used to be. We never returned those books we borrowed in spring. We just left them stacked on the floor while we chased everything. Now I hang up my slacks in a quiet dark room, rewinding the laughter that faded too soon. Back when we didn't care about the salary or the train, just 2 kids, warm and cheap thrift store coats in the rain. I touch the lining on my coat pocket and feel the torn seam inside. It pulls me right back to the night train when we had nowhere to hide. You tucked your frozen hands into my jacket slot, swearing we conquered the city whether they liked us or not. Now my carpet laying, your hands beside the door. My shoes are polished, my apartment has a hardwood floor. But touching this thread makes my heart drop low. Surprised by how much of that boy I had to let go. We never returned those books we borrowed in spring. We just left them stacked on the floor while we chased everything. Now I hang out my slacks in the quiet dark room, rewinding the laughter that faded too soon. Back when we didn't care about the salary or the train, just two kids, warm and cheap thrift store coats in the rain. The fabric of time gets so thin around midnight. One soft texture dissolves 5 years of quiet control. I stand in the hallway, holding my breath, watching our younger shadows walk back into the light. Rough ribbed cotton drops onto the chair. The apartment stays quiet, no one is there. I close my eyes and let the memory fade. Just another late night after the trade. A42 glows in green fluorescent light on the dashboard clock of this quiet nighttime bus. The leather strap on my briefcase hangs heavy tonight, soaking up the exhaustion left behind by us. I close my eyes and leap 30 years ahead to a balcony overlooking the quiet coastal bay, where an older man pours tea in a wooden shed and thinks about this tired kid sitting here today. Will that future me remember how my knees felt sore? Will he forgive the overtime I gave away? I picture him standing by an open terrace door, looking back at the boy who made it through today. I imagine the night when I am gray and slow, holding a warm cup, looking at the tide below, saying I survived the hustle of my 20s and my 30s, learning how to live with all my flaws and worries. He will smile at the guy who rode the bus back home, knowing every late commute was building something of his own. Yeah. In the distant year, these modern towers will look old, and the songs I stream right now will play on vintage radio. I wonder if my future hands will still be chasing gold, or if I will finally learn how to let the tension go. Right now I'm sweating through my collar on the street, worrying about tomorrow's deadline on my screen. But future me is resting his weary, patient feet, telling his old friends that he loved every scene. Will the future me remember how my knees felt sore? Will he forgive the overtime I gave away? I picture him standing by an open terrace door, looking back at the boy who made it through today. I imagine the night when I am gray and slow, holding a warm cup, looking at the tide below, saying I survived the hustle of my 20s and my 30s, learning how to live with all my flaws and worries. He will smile at the guy who rode the bus back home, knowing every late commute was building something of his own. Time is a long highway stretching past the neon signs. Today feels like heavy traffic stuck between the lines. But 40 years from now, tonight is just a golden spark, a quiet little memory shining through the dark. So I carry this fatigue like an honest token home. Future me, I'm sending you a life to call your own. The clock on the dashboard flickers to 8:43. I step off the bus into the cool nighttime breeze. Somewhere in the future, an old man waits for me, standing on a balcony above the quiet trees.